A Florida man nearly died while getting a lap dance from his housekeeper. The world's first underwater cemetery is off this Florida beach. Ronnie DeSantis bans Florida's sex education classes from mentioning anatomy, and a Florida man was shot dead during a dispute over a jukebox song. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News. They're all from the state of Florida because on Friday on Weird AF News, I only do weird news from Florida. It's Florida Friday on Weird AF News. Very exciting. Here we go. A Florida man almost perished while getting a lap dance from his housekeeper. This is an amazing title. And it makes me want to get a housekeeper. I didn't know I didn't know that housekeepers were doing this stuff. Okay. This isn't my definition of a housekeeper. This story's one for the books, it says. Florida man nearly died while getting a lap dance from his housekeeper. The incident happened in Tampa. The woman goes by the name of Sincerest Sammy. She went on TikTok to recap one of her most traumatic experiences. Sincerest Sammy turns out as a topless maid who makes up to $300 an hour cleaning homes without her top on. Okay. Just brooms out, boobs out, I guess is what's going on there. Is that their phrase for their for their business? Brooms out, boobs out. Okay, this topless maid makes good money. She's got many clients. One of her favorite clients nearly died on her recently. Sammy says that after cleaning his home, this Florida man paid a little extra to give him a lap dance. So, I mean, if they're already in your home cleaning with no tub, I suppose they're down for some other things. Yeah, why not just say, hey, how about a lap dance? What's going on? What happened next is something that she never thought she would experience, though. Topless Sammy. I'm sorry, Sincerest Sammy. I'm going to call her Topless Sammy. She's topless a lot. Okay, in her TikTok video, which I had to watch to get the whole story, it's difficult to watch because of the way she speaks. As you can imagine, a topless maid in Florida talks a certain way. It's very hard to get through the amount of likes and oh my god and like and oh my god and so like guys, next what happened was so crazy, oh my god, so crazy. So anyways, I'm giving this guy Frank, he's like 77 years old, I'm giving him a lap dance in his chair. I normally don't give lap dances to my customers, but you know, I give Frank lap dances because he's so sweet, so special. So I'm giving him a lap dance. I got no top on, and I got my skirt, so you can imagine no top on, and then he just goes stiff. Frank goes stiff. He's just wide-eyed, staring at the ceiling, all stiff, and I'm like, what's going on? Turns out Frank had a heart attack. Now, thankfully, this lovely topless maid was on the scene. She called 911, and Frank's going to be okay, thankfully, and he'll live to get twerked on another day, it seems. As for Sammy, the topless maid, she's going viral on TikTok because of this story, and no doubt business is going to triple. People are going to be calling her for her twerk of death, it would seem. Also, not only does she clean homes topless, she'll also come to your home and cut your grass topless as well. Question about that. If you're going to hire a topless grass cutter, should you let the neighbors know ahead of time what's going on? What do you guys think about that? I'm just wondering. I've never hired a topless grass cutter or a topless maid before. I'm just wondering if they're doing yard work, do you got to give the neighbors a heads up? If it's during the day. I mean, at night, maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know what the protocol is for hiring topless services around your house. I'm open to it, though. I'm open to it. Listen, at times like this, you can't be prejudiced. The world's first underwater cemetery. It's in Florida. Here's what we know about it. Fort Lauderdale not only is the Neptune Memorial Reef the world's first underwater cemetery, it's also said to be the largest man-made reef on planet Earth. This cemetery is located 40 feet underwater in Biscayne Bay, over 3 miles off the coast of Miami Beach. Well, this sounds pretty cool, like being buried in the underwater cemetery. I don't know how this works. I mean, is your body just going to be pecked apart by octopuses and various fish? You can become fish food. The sea urchins are just going to make your face their home. Like, how does this work? Do they dip your body in acid so it's just a skeleton, and they put your skeleton down under the water and chain it to the reef and put a pirate hat on it, and now you're kind of like an exhibit in Pirates of the Caribbean sort of thing? I don't know. That sounds cool to me. My skeleton forever down under. Put a little pirate patch on me and some gold teeth. Oh, man, so cool. Let's get some more information about this. Some gentleman in Florida came up with an idea of building an artificial reef and making it not only a reef, but also a work of art. That's when the idea came about building the Neptune Reef, and it was built from an artist's conception of the lost city of Atlantis. And now it's part cemetery, apparently, so it's art and cemetery. The way it works is customers' cremated remains are mixed with water and turned into, quote, placements at the reef, which have been outfitted with several other concrete structures that serve as reef bulwarks. I don't know what a reef bulwark is. This sounds kind of dull, though. Don't you want your skeleton down there? What is with your cremated remains go down in the ocean? That's so boring. People are already doing that. They get the ashes, they take a little ferry, and they just throw the ashes into the ocean. That's your ocean burial. I want skeletons, man. I want skeletons at the bottom of this place. It says the customers can choose which placement they want, where they'd like it to be situated down on the reef. These placements can take the form of road columns, arches, or local sea life. Local sea life? How does that... This doesn't make any sense to me. It says the ones that we have are of marine life that exist at the reef. So we have starfish, seashells, stone crab, just to give you an example. We have nurse shark placements, pufferfish. We have sea turtle placements. Those are some of the more popular ones. Okay, so they put your ashes inside like a little holder that looks like a crab or a starfish or a seashell, something like that. Got it. Now, so far, business is going well. There's been 1,500 placements deployed at the cemetery reef, though there are thousands more from customers who have already reserved spots in the cemetery. And they're still building out on this man-made reef, and once complete, it's expected to stretch 16 acres across the seafloor with the capacity to fit remains for over 250,000 people. This is also great news for the local sea life. Coral reef conservation is a huge undertaking in the state of Florida, with several groups across the state engaging in research to prevent the coral reefs from potentially going extinct. That's very nice. That's very necessary. We want to do whatever we can to preserve these coral reefs. I heard the Great Barrier Reef is endangered. It's an endangered animal. Not an animal. It's a living organism, though. It's the biggest living organism. It's the only living organism you could see from space. Did you know that? Oh, yeah. Jonesy's got some fun facts for you. Yeah, we got to preserve these reefs. For the local marine environment, it provides hard surfaces that help coral to thrive and presents many nooks where small fish can hide from predators. But unfortunately, as the oceans warm and become more acidic, it's much more difficult for the reefs to thrive in that sort of environment. So conservation organizations are doing their thing. And that's very important. It's kind of a feel-good story coming out of Florida here. Yay, saving the reefs. Lord knows I'm weak. Won't somebody get me off of this reef? Ronnie D. bans Florida's sex education classes from mentioning anatomy and contraceptives. This guy's a real genius here. So how are you going to teach the class, Ronnie D? Just be some scary guy walks in and tells the kids, if you have sex before marriage, you'll die. And then just walks out. Sex is a beautiful thing between a man, only a man and a woman. But if you do it before marriage, it burns so much. It just burns so much, children. Just going to let you know it burns. All right, this article says the Florida Department of Education has ordered some local school districts to submit their sex education plans for state approval. They also said that the classes must promote abstinence and cannot include discussions of contraception or pictures of reproductive health organs. What are they going to blur out the private parts on the presentation? It's going to be like watching Asian porn, I think. They have a memo here which says that the instructions from the state were as follows. No pictures of external sexual / reproductive anatomy should be included at any grade level. No pictures. So you can't mention them and you can't have pictures of them. How are you supposed to educate these people? That's what I want to know. Well, you take your thingamajig and you put it in the whatchamacallit. You know what I'm saying, kids, right? You know what I'm saying. It also says here, and this is scary, contraceptives are not part of any health or science standard as well, but can be mentioned as a health resource, though pictures, activities, or demonstrations that illustrate the use of contraceptives should not be included in any instruction at any grade level. So they can't even teach you how to use a condom. This is not going to end well, Florida. And if you combine all this with the stupid abortion laws over there, I mean, you know what you're going to get, guys. Endless seasons of Teen Mom, Florida style is what you're going to get. Yes, this just in, Florida teen pregnancies have skyrocketed. Look at, man, you need to educate these people. What are you talking about? This is not something you want to leave up to the imagination. They're going to learn about sex through nefarious means. Or could. They might. I'm not that they're nefarious, but like, you don't want them learning their sex education from TikTok, man, and that's what's going to happen. So intervene. And give good information. Provide real information. How to use contraceptives, what they are. How does someone get pregnant? I mean, in other words, don't go with the whole old school stork baby story, you know, like they used to. Oh, no, the stork delivers a baby. I don't even know how that stupid idea came about. I assume it's because so long ago there was so much uncomfortability about talking about how babies were made that's what they came up with, some fantasy story about some seabird that delivers a baby in its beak, which makes no sense. So, like, get it together, Florida. I mean, you need some form of education because the alternative is terrible. It's going to be a disaster. Anybody can see this coming down the road. So you're withholding information. Sex is how babies are made. But how? We can't tell you. Is there a way not to get pregnant? We can't tell you. Well, just leave it up to Ronnie Day to continuously spiral this state down into the toiletry of existence that it's become. Well, that was pretty poetic. Oh, little Ronnie D, little Ronnie D, little Ronnie D. I should make a song about little Ronnie D. Little Ronnie D should have the Florida schools teach sex education the way little Ronnie D has sex. Do you know how he has sex, guys? This is how it happens. Number one, he answers the door for his wife's boyfriend. 2, he makes his wife's boyfriend his favorite drink. 3, he goes to his bedroom while the wife and her boyfriend get it on in her bedroom. 4, Ronnie D goes in and cleans up after they're done. 5, Ronnie D enjoys an ice cream sundae while crying before bed. A Florida man is shot dead over a dispute on a jukebox song selection. Well, you know, people take their jukebox music very, very seriously. And some songs just put us over the edge, guys. I mean, can you really hear On a Dark Desert Highway again? I cannot. I cannot hear it again. And if someone goes up to a jukebox and I will always bang, 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 bang. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm saying I understand. A Florida man was shot and killed at a restaurant in Fort Lauderdale early Monday morning, after an argument over a jukebox turned violent at this Mexican restaurant. This is according to witnesses who say the dispute began at 1:30 a.m. at Antojitos Mexicanos restaurants, where one man began commenting on another person's music selection on the jukebox. I'd love to know what was said. If you play the Macarena one more time, bro, you know what's going to happen. Or does this jukebox play Baby Shark? That would make you want to shoot somebody if it plays Baby Shark. Here's a quote from one of the witnesses. I heard that there was 2 guys and they got into an argument because one of them's played a song on the jukebox and the other guy kind of was pissed off. The guy that got insulted pulled his weapon and started shooting the other guy. Wow. And then things began escalating very quickly after that. Well, I think the escalating already happened, witness, when the one man shot the other man. But he shot him, and then it started to escalate. No. It's already escalated when the gun is out and blasting away in the restaurant. I mean, how do you escalate higher than that? You know? I mean, I suppose if during the shooting over a jukebox song, the hurricane swept through the Mexican restaurant and swept everybody, including the jukebox, out to sea, then it escalated. Too soon, guys? Too soon? Okay, back to the story. It turns out both of these guys, this is a big surprise in the state of Florida, both of the guys had guns on them, and they both drew their weapons. The man who insulted the song allegedly drew his weapon first, but it was the man who had picked the song who shot first. I hate your song. Oh, yeah? Draw! 3 paces and then draw. I challenge you to a duel because I can't stand Fleetwood Mac. This is just ridiculous. Who could see this coming? Concealed carry without a permit a year later, turning out just as expected in the state of Florida. Good move, guys. Here's another quote from this witness that just can't get enough of the limelight. One of them played a song on the Rockola, the machine. It's called the Rockola. How cute. The machine, and the other guy was pissed off and said, "You're not a real Mexican if you play that freaking music, you know." What was he playing? Los Lobos? Did he play La Bamba? And the guy's like, "You're not a real Mexican if you play La Bamba." Pitbull is not a real Mexican, man. It's hilarious. The other guy was chasing him, shot after shot. It's just sad because this is a good neighborhood. It never happens, you know. I'm very shocked someone got shot dead and killed, you know. Very shocked. It's just such a sad state of affairs that everybody's got to solve their problem with the gun violence. Back in the day, you used to just put on the old rockola. Everybody was kung fu fighting, and then we would just kung fu fight our way to a resolution. Maybe there'd be some broken bottles or something and broken chairs, but there'd be no gun violence. So sad, so sad. And with all these rockolas having so many Coldplay songs, people are getting pretty ornery about song selections these days. Now, sadly, the person who shot the poor man is still on the loose. Police have urged anyone with information that can help lead to this arrest to please come forward. I've scrolled to the end of the article. Still doesn't say what the song was. I feel like that's like very pertinent information to know what song triggered this guy. Triggered. No pun intended. No, seriously, no pun intended. The only clue that we have to the song was that it made one man say, "That's not a traditional Mexican song." So my guess is it was something. It was probably a Ricky Martin song. Live la vida loca. It was probably Live la vida loca. Amen. That's not a true Mexican song. What are you talking about? This is Ricky Martin. Live la vida loca. One more thought on this. I have to raise this question, because I don't think anyone's thought of this. Why shoot the guy when you could just shoot the jukebox and have the same result? Just shoot the old Rockola, and now the whole city won't be after your ass for murder. It's just another approach to it. How can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round? How was that for a Bee Gees impression? Pretty good. What makes the world go round? Hey, my friends, on a serious tip, thank you for hanging out with me for the Florida Friday episode. Thanks to everybody who sent me Florida stories the past couple of days. Very, very helpful. Making my job easier. Now, I should make note that what's going on in Florida right now is very tragic. I read as of this morning, it was over 30 people have perished because of Hurricane Helene. Not something we want to happen to Florida as much as we despise Florida. And largely it's not even Florida's fault that Florida's like that. It's because of people like Ronnie Little D that Florida's like that. So do we want terrible things to happen to Ronnie D? Yes, of course we do. Do we want terrible things to happen to the innocent citizens that just happen to live in a state that Ronnie D's largely in charge of? No, we don't. We don't. So, hopefully those who have been affected by the hurricane will be getting back to a normal life and surviving above and beyond anything. So I read that a lot of people are refusing to exit the danger zones, and then the authorities are telling them to please write their names on their bodies so that they can be identified later. I mean, isn't that crazy? Imagine someone tells you got to leave your house, and you're like, no, I'm gonna stay. I'm like, okay, you can stay, but please write your name and your social security number on your butt for us to identify you. That would be enough to make me leave. But some people don't listen. So, anyways, we hope that everybody's okay down there. If you're living in Florida, please be safe. I want to give a shout out now to Huge Arse. Huge Arse bought me some more coffees. But Huge Arse keeps buying me coffees. This Huge Arse. Big fan of this show, Huge Arse. Huge Arse. Hugh wrote, sorry, Jonesy, I always get into a funny mood after listening to your show. I'm finding I'm having to rewind stuff due to laughing so dang hard. I had one therapist say to another, I like the way Chris tries to make the stuff in his life funny. And that reminds me of your show. Making stuff funny that shouldn't really be funny. I will say, though, on the odd occasion I have said, Jonesy, that's not funny. Quote, life sucks, then you die. But I believe you have to try and laugh your way through. Another quote from this person, quote, I like parking in handicapped spaces. So do I. Hope you're well. I'm only 2% short of getting a disabled parking sticker, so what the hell? I'm not an a-hole. I really don't know what kind of drugs Huge Arse was on when Huge Arse wrote this, but I want some of that, Huge Arse. Now, if you would like to buy me a coffee like Huge Arse did, it's pretty easy. Just go to weirdafnews.com and click on the Buy a Coffee banner. You can also join the Patreon from that page as well. The banner is right next to that one. Joining the Patreon is like buying Jonesy a coffee every month. It's a good way to support your buddy. And you get access to extra weird content that I put inside the Patreon as well. And that's pretty cool. Anyways, if you want to email me, it's funnyjones@gmail.com. My Instagram's @funnyjones. If you want to come to a show, I got a show Friday night in Long Beach and Sunday night in Hollywood. So slide into my DMs for some information. Anyways, hope you have a great weekend. Good luck with your life, man.